Bounce back win ends the three-game slide, and in an emphatic fashion, they take down the Utah Jazz behind 41 from James Harden. 144-107. For Carlo Jimenez, Mike Dooley stepping in today for Big Brother Jake Warner. Chris Taylor, who was working hard all night long. Adam Oslin, Katie Newton, and Daniel back in the studio. Adam's going to take the keys to the car. Our final score, the Clippers win 144-107 as they come away with a victory before they head on the road to Dallas. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Center Clippers Audio Network. Oh, yeah. We don't get them at home.
All right, Clipper Nation. I think the Clippers handle their business tonight. Is that what you wanted?
Who are you, Justin Fields? Or Jalen Hurts?
Did you say that?
Yeah, he threw for like 2 touchdowns, and he went up to the
that's
podium
right.
and he goes,
Called out the media. Nah, it's cool. Unless Carlo wants me to use it. Yeah, let's go third.
Nah.
Nice.
Completely amazing. We thank you so much. And I know Chelsea handed off these autographed game-winning balls just like that. So we always do that when we win. So Clipper Nation, give yourselves a round of applause. Happy holidays to you. We definitely want you to say, oh, we have Chuck the voiceover. Okay, all right.
Coffee is for closers. That's fair. He was out there. What up, Ray? Good to see you. Stratos in here. Good to see you. Nick Ramos, a lot of the usuals. Adam Oslin's dad, who's apparently Gary Busey. Pizza. Yeah, I gotta say, I hyped up this game, and Utah didn't perform for me, and I'm okay with that. No regret. This reminds me of the Clippers dismantled the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome with a final score of 144-107. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we got second half highlights, your post-game box score, and Clippers talk. If you want to get on early, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. But first, we head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, you talked about it in the pregame show, but this was an opportunity the Clippers had to get right on the offensive end. They took advantage tonight against the worst defensive team in the league and got a lot of shots to drop early and often, and even late in this one in the fourth quarter.
Not much went the wrong way for the Clippers today. They finished with 28 assists, 49 made shots on 82 attempts, 59% from the field, 53% from the three-point line. They were aggressive early, went up 30-7. Harden had a 13-0 run. early in that first quarter, Adam, on his way to a 24-point quarter, and that's about it for the Clippers. They were able to hold serve, extend the lead as many as 42 in the second half. Season highs tonight, as Chris Taylor hands me this note, in shooting percentage, made threes, points and a half, and victory margin. That is how you take care of business, and get ready for a gauntlet coming up the rest of December for the Clippers unit. It does not get much easier this month, I believe, and going into the early parts of January. They're going to say Memphis, Golden State, Dallas. It's going to be tough for this Clipper team. Oklahoma City's on the schedule here, too. The Clippers have a lot of tough opponents ahead of them, but they were able to tune up in a big-time way here against the Utah Jazz. I just thought it was impressive how not only did Harden go for 41, but then you get 29 from Norman Powell, 16 from Amir Coffey, 19 and 12 from Mitchell Zubac, 12 from Chris Dunn. And everyone in that starting five had one of their best games of the season with the way they played and the efficiency they played with. Nobody missed more than 4 shots outside of James Harden, who of course took 17 among those other 4 guys in the starting line.
Yeah, it's a great point. It was well balanced, even with the guy going for 41, I guess you could say. They still had 28 assists out there. Guys were still in the rhythm and in the flow of the game. And somebody who also needed a bounce-back performance, that would be Norman Powell. He had 29 on just 16 shots. This looks like the Norman Powell that we have seen so far this season.
Yeah, it does. His ability to be efficient with the 3-point shot, 5 for 7 in this game. I thought he got downhill, got to the rim, was able to beat teams in transition. That's a sneaky part of Norman Powell's game that I don't think it's talked about enough. He's top 10 in the NBA in transition points per game. He's averaging nearly 5 basketball points a game in the league. That is good enough for top 10. He really takes advantage when he's ahead of the pack of getting into the front court, knocking down above the break three, something he's so good at in the NBA, top 10 in that category as well. Norman Powell showing why he should be in the conversation for an all-star and most improved player. I think he deserves it, not only because of the way he's playing at him, but just the efficiency. I mean, how many guys in this league are averaging 20 points on 50 seconds? Not many. Norman Powell giving the Clippers the juice they needed to start the second half. And it was important because, look, no matter how much you're up at halftime, if a team goes on a 10-0 run out of the break, they feel like they're in the ball game. I felt like Norman Powell, while James Harden put the front door on the coffin, Norman Powell hammered the last couple of nails.
Ivica Zubac did some work tonight, too. 8 of 11 from the field for his 19 and 12 in just 26 minutes. Another guy with a get-right game tonight that I think needed it. And he just looked much more decisive out there, getting to his post moves, Carl.
He did. He was 8 for 11 in this game, Adam. I was impressed with his defense as well. 2 blocks, 4 assists. Clippers down 9 and 1. And Ivica Zubac has 4 or more assists. What was so impressive about Big Zoo, Adam, is he was quick with the decisions, and he didn't command the basketball as the ball didn't stop with him. I mean, it felt like he caught the ball, he either ripped it for a pass or got to the rim, and the offense continued with flow. Sometimes you see Ivica Zubac catch and take his time, but he was not taking his time. And he put up those numbers, let's be honest, against Walker Kessler, who right now is 3rd in the NBA in opponent field goal percentage among guys who are 7 feet taller or more. So this is Kessler, one of the best defenders in the NBA at his position, and Ivica Zubac made light work. He was looking fingers after this one. Probably could have had 20 plus if he stayed in the game.
Clippers pour it on against the Utah Jazz. They win 144-107 here at Intuit Dome. The Clippers are back to their winning ways, and they're back out on the road. In 2 days, they will be in Dallas for a 2-game mini-series starting on Thursday, and then in Memphis next Monday night. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. We will talk to you on Thursday with the Clippers being in Dallas against Luka Doncic, Luka the Don, and the Mavericks.
Going back to the Lions then, baby. Let's go.
Coming up next, second half highlights. Clippers have their biggest victory of the season. They win by 37 over the Utah Jazz. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
I've seen that. That's happened. That's not the. What I have never seen is the team never gets inside 20 ever again. What I think I've never seen is that with 7 left in the second quarter. So
Yes.
16 minutes and 50 seconds in the game. You're down 30 and never get inside.
Got it. Chat, can you hear me okay? It became unplugged for a second. My bad.
I sometimes feel like people
Yeah. So they still need John Collins, guys, or no? Not that I was just talking in the chat. Peter says 10% body fat is coming. Can you see it? Oh, LOL, WTF. Eric is in here, who made this beautiful outline border for the show. He is a fantastic artist. You know him for janky drawings that are actually beautiful. Now it's a night. Here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I had my sound card unplugged for a second. I wish I could blame Mike Dooley, but I can't. I just can't do it. Excuse me, Ray? John Collins can lick a candy cane? 'Tis the season. I like those rainbow ones that are cherry flavored. That's my type of candy cane. All right, we got some second half highlights. You owe me nothing, Eric. Clipper Nation owes you. I owe you. Go up. And they stay there. Clippers win 144 to 107 over the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Whether you're listening on AM 570 LA Sports or at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side, appreciate you guys as the Clippers just had their largest margin of victory this season, winning by 37 over the Utah Jazz. And I'm here to tell you it wasn't even that close. Coming up, we'll get to your final box score, but right now, second half highlights. The Clippers led 81 to 47 in the first half. They put up 81 points. The franchise record for points in the first half is 82. They were right there knocking on the door. That was made back in 2019 for them, the first year of 2-1-3. But after leading big and by as many as 37 in the first half as well, in that third quarter, the Clippers kept pedal to metal, all gas, no brakes. The Clippers came out of the third quarter up 115 to 82. They continued to play with process out there, good process. They continue to pour it on. They would eventually win 144 to 107 over the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome. Coming up, we got your final box score next. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to your Clippers postgame show right here on AM 570 LA Sports and your Los Angeles Clippers audio network.
Show is brought to you by Mint Mobile, big wireless providers. What you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the story, first month's mobile price and value. Paying actually skyrockets. Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about got you ever again. But Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase.
Copy.
They mean it. So bye-bye to overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills.
And they brought us all these box scores except the final one. I miss the paper sometimes, but I get it. We're going paperless. Save the trees, bro. I miss the Sunday morning newspaper. I miss it. Sometimes with technology, there are some drawbacks. Oh, he's getting one. Don't worry about that. Woo. I'm keeping them. The boys are back in town, but now they're leaving. Out on the road. 3 games. They gone. Appreciate you guys in the chat. We're with you till what time here, Katie and Daniel? What time we go until tonight? 11? We're with you till 11 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know if I'm doing a Clippers talk after dark after this one. Things got dark early for Utah Jazz. They're rebuilding. They're developing. Developers. Clippers win 144-107 here at Intuit Dome. Their largest victory of the season. They win by 37 over the Utah Jazz. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. Good to be with you guys. If you're listening on AM 570 LA Sports or outside of the local area on the Los Angeles Clippers audio network or on the YouTube side at Clippers Talk, we appreciate you. Chat, we'll get to some of your comments in a little bit here. But James Harden drops 41 and had 24 points in the first quarter, and that was the game. They tipped it off. He got hot. The Jazz were down by 24 after the first, as he had 24 in the first quarter. James Harden, the 103rd time in his career, he has gone for 40 or more, I believe. Impressive showing, especially coming off the game in Denver, where he really struggled. He was my player to watch for a reason. I did not predict he'd get 41 points on just 17 shots, as he was 7 of 11 from 3 and 12 of 14 at the charity stripe. As I want to say, he was fouled 4 separate times while attempting a three-pointer, and it was just too tempting for the Utah Jazz. They got caught handing the cookie jar. He drew the foul, went 12 of 14 at the charity stripe. Big Zoo, 19 and 12 in the game. Also needed to bounce back, just like Norman Powell. He had 29 points on just 16 shots. The Clippers starters, thanks to our statistician Chris Taylor here, went 40 of 59 from the floor and 17 of 25 from the outside. They scored 117 points alone. The bench chipped in with 27. Bones Highland would get a 3 late. Kevin Porter Jr. would finally get a bucket. He was just 1 of 8 with 7 points. But Amir Coffey also knocked down a 3. He was 6 of 7. Looking for a bounce back performance from him. 3 of 3 from distance, 16 points. Good to see. Chris Dunn hit 2 3-pointers. Coming into this game, he was 19 for his last 68 from 3. That's 28%. And he went 2 of 4. Awesome to see that. Clippers fired on all cylinders, and Utah was at their mercy. The Jazz, wrong place, wrong time tonight to be at Intuit Dome. The Clippers were ready, and now they're ready for a big road trip. They're heading out, starting with a 2-game mini-series in Dallas Thursday and Saturday. So 2 more days off. We'll talk about that and more coming up on Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports and on the YouTube side. But outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until Thursday. Tip-off from Dallas is at 5:30. Pre-game at 4:30. And you know what? We'll give you a bonus segment here on the network side. Clippers win 144-107 over the Utah Jazz at Intuit Dome. And you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers audio network. Good to see you. We're going to see you here 27th against the Warriors.
So, yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
I think I'm even on the radio side. Yes.
What's that? Okay, good. Chat, we good?
No, you're fine.
Uno and Zoo looking like 2017 Beard and Capella. Facts. John Collins played that much.
Blowout of mammoth proportions. The LA Clippers hammer the Utah Jazz 144 to 107. From the Utah Jazz standpoint, they were down 20 at the final.
That was an incredible shooting performance, Clipper Nation. Ooh, I got some more stats. Chris Taylor hooks it up. Not the Dodger. I'm a Giants fan, so.
In fact, they went down 30 with 7:10 left in the second.
Ray said we fat, dumb, and happy over here. It's a good place to be. Max Vega, appreciate you, my guy. Now we're definitely going to 11. Much love. Max Vega's got the best name in the game. Who was named Vega in a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Mammoth blowout of the Utah Jazz here at Intuit.
Clippers shoot 60% from the field, 54% from the outside on 21 of 39 shooting from three, and they win 144 to 107 over the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome. It's their largest victory of the season. They win by 37. Their largest victory in franchise history is 50. That was back in 2022, April of 2022, against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Welcome back in. This is your Clippers post-game show. I'm Adam Moslin. Coming up, we will have Clippers talk for you if you want to get on early. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Clippers shooting 59.8% from the field. Or was that from three? It's tough. That was from the field. From three, it was 54%. 21 three-pointers made. That is a season high, along with that field goal percentage of 59.8%. Most points scored in a half this season, 81 points. One shy of 82, which is the franchise record for most points in a first half. That happened back in 2019, early days of the 2-1-3 era. And, of course, their largest margin of victory, winning by 37 here, as James Harden had 41 points in 30 minutes. He had 24 points in the first quarter in 12 minutes. Clippers were up by 24. And that was all she wrote. And all that jazz. Yada, yada, yada. However you want to put it. That was game. The Clippers, though, ended up with 144 points to Utah's 107. And the Clippers are getting right as they head out on the road for 3 tough ball games before they return back to Intuit Dome against the Golden State Warriors on the 27th. Outside of Los Angeles, now we are leaving you until then. Coming up next, though, do not go anywhere. It's Clippers talk, baby.
5-0? You got 30 minutes, Ron.
All right, here's what I love about the chat. First of all, Ray donating $2. I appreciate you. But I throw out the question about Quentin Tarantino. Who was named Vega? Yeah, it was Michael Madsen's character, Victor Vega. Who is he the brother of?
Vincent Vega
And who's Vincent Vega?
from Pulp Fiction. Don Travolta.
Boom. Hey, Mike Dooley, not exactly a lightweight over here. Quentin Tarantino aficionado, apparently. A little bit. I'm with you there. Top 3 movies. Now I'm interested. Top 3 Quentin Tarantino movies.
Django.
Ooh.
Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Always.
I really like Hateful Eight.
I respect it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might be
That was fun.
That's one of my favorites in a while. Just because the twist he puts on a awful story and turns it into a positive.
Yeah, that was absolutely fun to watch, but I like the other 3 for other various reasons.
I get it.
Good stuff.
You can't go wrong. Jackie Brown. Now, Jackie Brown's still good. Underrated performance by Chris Tucker. But I mentioned a Vega. Now everybody's talking about Street Fighter 2 and Vega with the claws. When Vega loses. Where's Vega from? Spain, I think. I think that's where you fought Vega. In Championship Edition. These are the tangents I need on a night like tonight, guys. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought would happen with Bones Highland. I was pretty sure he wasn't exactly getting back in the rotation. Ray's got Kill Bill. Daniel's got Reservoir Dogs. DM's got Street Fighter Vega. You guys heard the AI Adam in the bathroom at Intuit Dome? Man, that hurts. In a bit of a twist, the Clippers were more in tune tonight than the Utah Jazz. They win 144-107 here at Intuit Dome. Clippers' largest victory of the season by 37 over Utah. Welcome in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports and at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side now. Appreciate you guys. The Clippers with an offensive explosion, and it started in the first quarter thanks to James Harden. He had 24 points in the first quarter of this one. He had 23 in the first quarter against Washington this season. He had 21 in the fourth quarter last year as a Clipper in Indianapolis, where he did a snow angel on the court. But it was good to see this version of James Harden return after an extremely down game last Friday against the Denver Nuggets, where he had 9 turnovers. And that was the most concerning part to me. The timing wasn't there from him in that game. After having 8 days off, he didn't play against Houston. He didn't look like himself. Tonight, well, he looked like prime James Harden. The red jersey will throw you off. You think you're watching him back in Houston, back in his MVP season. He was that good tonight. James Harden is a special player and leader for this Clippers team. And they're now 15-12 without having Kawhi Leonard play a single game so far for this squad. We'll give you an update on Kawhi coming up here. We got post-game audio from Coach Lou, and you'll hear from James Harden. But this is the taking care of business type of game you wanted to see from the Clippers. No disrespect to the Utah Jazz. They're in a rebuilding phase. They're developing guys. And I think they have a lot of talent on that squad. And I told you pregame, I had some concerns. The Utah Jazz coming into this one, they were shooting 45% from 3 the last 3 games, best in the league. Tonight, though, just 13 of 39. That's 33%. The Clippers were 21 of 39. 21 makes from the outside. That is a season high. That's 54% from 3. Clippers' last 3 games were shooting 31% from the outside. So you can take it as wrong place, wrong time for the Utah Jazz because the Clippers were due for a scoring outburst, and it happened tonight. It was a special one. One of the biggest victories in franchise history. Most points they've ever won by is 50. That was back in April of 2022 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was just outside being a top 10 biggest margin of victory in Clippers history. Now, they led at one point by 42. They finished winning by 37. But the efficiency from this team and the way they were able to stay hot and stay in rhythm, even with one guy having 24 points in the first quarter, was impressive to me. Everybody else was touching the basketball even while James Harden was going off like that. Other guys stayed into the flow. 28 assists on their 49 made shots. And Norman Powell went 12 of 16 for his 29 points. Ivica Zubac also due for a bounce back, 8 of 11 for his 19 and 12. Guys that needed to find the bottom of the net did so tonight. Amir Coffey, he was 2 for his last 10, the last 2 games from 3. He goes 3 of 3, 6 of 7 overall, 16 points in 34 minutes. And the Clippers only had 11 guys dressed tonight, so he was still playing late in the game, even though he was starting, as Carlo Jimenez pointed out. They need him out there. But for this many guys to get a confidence boost like this, heading out on the road, a 2-game mini series coming up in Dallas. Then they're taking on Memphis. In Memphis, it's going to be difficult. This is the type of victory you wanted to see from the Clippers. I thought there was a lot of good process, even when they were up big. They weren't just trading baskets. They continue to play hard. There was a hard foul by Ivica Zubac in the second half on John Collins, saying no easy layups, no dunks. I love seeing that. When the second unit came in, Mo Bamba was playing hard. He also hit a 3-pointer. Keep scrapping. Keep your identity intact, no matter what the score is. Because I truly believe you can build good habits, even in a game like this, where you could say, it's Utah. They've only won 5 games. They're in a different position in their franchise's life cycle right now in the Clippers. Well, you can still continue to play with good process out there every minute of the game. And for the most part, I think the Clippers did that. And that's how you see a lopsided score like this, 144 to 107. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back looking for post-game audio from Coach Lou and the players. We'll get to your phone calls. Mike in L.A., Tom leaving the game. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. All right. Mike and Tom still there? Sounds good. He did good, right? Hey, guys, you want to see what Carlo got me today? So it's Carlo's birthday tomorrow. And he's the one giving out gifts. And I got this City Edition hoodie in the light blue, which is my favorite, from this guy right here. This guy right here. The good guy.
Go Clips, go Clips. I didn't get a gift. Oh,
David Locke didn't get hooked up, though.
I deserve something. You earned your money tonight, huh?
He owns an empire. He doesn't need any gifts. Come on.
Didn't they give you guys candy? Isn't there chocolates that you see? There was not chocolates in my seat. Not only did I get it blown out by 30, there was no chocolate. I brought those chocolates. Oh, you didn't give me a chocolate. Sorry, I only brought enough for. Oh, you guys only matter. Well, because the real artists work on radio. They get a freaking picture to help them out. I didn't know all you guys were cameras. I'm sorry.
Hey, guys, I have compared KPJ to Russ at times with some of the decision making out there. I don't think that's unfair. He was extremely sloppy with the basketball when he first came in. But then he did have a nice offensive rebound and found Norman Powell for a 3-pointer. I liked seeing that. Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Appreciate you.
Oh, marshmallows, not nuts? Oh, I saw that white thing. I thought it was a nut.
Oh, you like that baby blue? Happy birthday, Carlo Jimenez. You got a 37-point victory by the Clippers tonight.
All right.
How old are you?
12. Thank you, sir.
See you, bud.
David Locke, good to see you.
Hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're welcome.
Locked on Jazz, locked on Empire right there. Clippers win tonight by a wide margin over the Utah Jazz. Final score 144 to 107. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Talk live from Intuit Dome. We're with you for another 30 minutes here, looking for some post-game quotes coming out from the head coach and the players after James Harden dropped 41 points. and had 24 in the first quarter, in the first 12 minutes. He was that hot. In fact, this first quarter box score, the Clippers scored 44 points. They were up 44-20. James Harden scores 24 points in the first quarter. They're up by 24 heading into the second, but James Harden starts this game 6 of 9 from the field and 5 of 7 from three. Incredible. He went 7 of 8 at the charity stripe in the first quarter to get to his 24 points. He got fouled, I think, 4 different times while attempting a three-pointer. They were hunting Keontae George, get him into the action, step back, James Harden 3 on him. He did it to multiple guys, but they couldn't help themselves. It's just too tempting to try to block that step back 3, but nobody can do it. It's incredible what he's doing at the age of 35. And I do believe he should be in the MVP conversation because the Clippers, they're 15-12. 27 games in. They haven't had Kawhi for any of these. And they're still this good. And they're still playing a resilient brand of basketball where it's still next man up mentality. And a lot of the things we've been talking about for years have remained intact. This Clippers team, special. I think they're Kawhi Leonard away from being a contender in the Western Conference. I truly believe that. Can they beat the Boston Celtics? I don't know. There are some really good teams in the Eastern Conference at the very top. In the West, OKC's a problem. Denver's a problem. But I don't fear the Dallas Mavericks as much if you have Kawhi Leonard. I don't fear Houston. The Phoenix Suns. Minnesota could be difficult because their defense is back. And Anthony Edwards is a young superstar in this league. But I still like my chances with Kawhi Leonard in a 7-game series against anyone. Now, pregame, Coach Lou said he's progressing very well. And it's still up in the air whether he'll be up in the air with them on this road trip traveling with them. So, no news about Kawhi being limited and staying in LA is a good thing at this point. It's undetermined. He might be with them on the road trip. That's a plus. That's very encouraging. I'm here for that. Ray said Zoo's dunk on both Kessler and Markkanen was legendary. Zoo had some great buckets in this game. But yeah, that dunk on half the Utah Jazz team, that two-handed throwdown was fierce right at the wall. I think they helped provide a little bit of energy there. Robert said, what about Big Zoo barbecue chicken? Zoo was a beast. Just so decisive with getting to his spots and quickly was getting to his post moves. That's what I like seeing out there. Max Vega, appreciate you. Somebody donating a super chat here. I'm not worthy. The Clippers are, though. Clippers very much are. James Harden very much is. Let's go to a phone call here. Mike in LA. Mike, you got 30 seconds here on Clippers Talk. What's up, Mike? I agree with you, Mike. I appreciate the phone call. I think it's smart. Mike's saying that in past years, this could have been a much closer game. This Clippers team comes out with a different level of focus and intent. They knew the assignment. They knew what the job was tonight. They know they got 3 really tough road games coming up, and this is basically as close as you can get to a must-win game in December. You're playing a 5-win team at home after you had lost 3 straight. It's time to get right. And the Clippers did with their offense. The attention to detail, special from this team. I couldn't be more proud of the way they played, especially in the offensive end. And it's not just about James Harden. And I think Carlo Jimenez made the best point. Other guys were still in a flow. Other guys were still in a rhythm. For a guy to go for 41, to have 24 points in the first quarter, and other guys to stay hot around him, that's hard to do. It's hard to strike that balance. The Clippers did. Who we got here? Tom leaving the game. Tom, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. Appreciate the phone call, Tom. Short, sweet, to the point. Yeah, the defense is lights out. But over the last 5 games, they were just 20th defensively. Tonight, in a game where you score 144, it is hard to do what they did and hold a team to 107. Because there's bound to be some sloppy play. It's human nature to let up a little bit here and there. The garbage time basically started by the second quarter. And the Clippers still were pretty relentless defensively. No easy buckets. I mentioned again, if Issa Zubats had a couple of blocks and that one in the second half on John Collins, where he put him on the floor, the Clippers are up 35. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to defend that. He still did. That's what I love seeing. John in Woodland Hills. John, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. So when he's had 43 in a game this season, did he, John, when he had 43 in a game this season, did he release a pair of shoes that day? Did he? Yes or no? No. Yes or no? Did he release a pair of shoes that day when he had 43? Okay, he didn't. So, John, let's be fair. James Harden is an all-time great player. It has nothing to do with the shoes. I'm not going to Spike Lee it and say it's got to be the shoes tonight. It's because he's a great player. John still there? All right. John's trying to point to all James Harden cares about is the money, and he only performed tonight because he had a new pair of shoes to sell. So I get into lawyer mode and say, well, wait a second. He had 43 in a game this season. I don't think he released a pair of shoes that night. He had the 39-point game against Denver, that huge win here. I don't think he released a pair of shoes that night. So let's not act like James Harden is out there just playing for the money. Come on. Is that why he's organizing training camps in Arizona with the team by himself? Like, he cares. He's been a great leader with this Clipper squad. I'm not hearing that stuff. Not tonight. So we'll take a quick time out. We'll get back to your phone calls. If anybody else wants to call in and try to troll or whatever, that's fine. I haven't got a call from that Lakers guy in a while. Wonder why. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Your people tried to troll me before, Mike. Oh, yeah? This Laker fan called in after the Clippers had lost to Boston. And he tried to set me up, and he was like, I hope you're having an... They got smoked by Boston, right? And he's like trying to act like a Clippers fan at first. I hope you're having an okay night and stuff. And he's just like, oh, go Lakers. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. The Clippers just lost to your bitter rival, and you're happy about that? Like, shouldn't you want Boston to lose? Like, why are the Clippers living rent-free? Shouldn't it be Boston?
You just wanted to be on the air.
I mean, I'll take it. It's funny.
Like basketball Baba Booey.
Does anybody have his shooting splits the last 10 games? What? Harold? What did he say his name was? Okay, guys, John in Woodland Hills just called in, and for some reason used a female name in Jill. John and Jill ran up the hill, and he tried to get back on. John calls in as Jill in Echo Park to try to get back on. Good job pulling him down when I was talking. Cap said John probably had too many beverages of the alcoholic variety. We're not going to disrespect overserved. We can't disrespect James Harden tonight, especially if it's that illogical. Hey. Clippers dismantle, dissect, destroy, and get a decisive victory over the Utah Jazz with a final 144-107. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports and at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. Looking for some post-game quotes from the head coach, or if anybody wants to call in and, not try to criticize James Harden on a night where he has 41 points on how many shots here? Was it 16? This is an all-time game from an efficiency standpoint. 17, my bad. 11 of 17, 7 of 11 from 3, 12 of 14 from the free throw line, 41 points on 17 attempts. That was prime James Harden. He's wearing red. That was Houston James Harden. He won the MVP in, I think, 2018. That's what it looked like tonight. And for him to still be able to do that and have nights like this at the age of 35, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Well, that caller John was saying it's only because he had new shoes out tonight. What about the other game where he had 40? He didn't have new shoes that night. But here's an area where I don't think it's coincidental. He just had 8 days off. Maybe it was one too many leading into the game against the Denver Nuggets, and it led to rest. But then 2 days off, and he looks like this Monday after the game Friday. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think he's rejuvenated. I think he had fresh legs. When you're hitting like that from the outside, when he's stepping back like that, I think he's feeling pretty damn good out there. So, over the last 10 games, thanks to Himothy in the chat, I was asking for the splits and where he's been because people have been talking about his efficiency going up. Last 10 games for James Harden, getting 25 points, 4 boards, about 8 assists on 44% shooting from the field and 42% shooting from 3 while shooting 91% from the free throw line. So, season legs kicking in? Maybe. He's getting his sea legs underneath him? Maybe so. Here's a good point from Capra. He said, bro, even prime Harden wasn't this efficient. I think he has been, technically. Dunn bringing the ball up, and it seems he is resting more off the ball, too. That's the point I love. Early on, Chris Dunn was bringing the ball up, and James Harden was playing more off ball. I loved seeing that. That's how you in-game load manage James Harden a little bit. Don't make him bring the ball up every single time. That's why Dunn's in the starting lineup. But yes, as Absent said, he'll be in the second unit when Kawhi comes back. I don't think Norm's coming out of the starting lineup. So we're all looking forward to seeing when this team is fully healthy, especially with Kawhi Leonard back. And based upon the timelines with the reevaluation and that period between two players in Terrence Mann and Derek Jones Jr., I would not expect them back till the 27th at best, just based upon the timelines they gave us. Remember, it was 3 weeks for Terrence Mann with a broken left middle finger, and not trying to flip off the chat here. And it was 2 weeks for Derek Jones Jr. with a hamstring, but he got hurt a week after Terrence Mann, so they both line up actually of being able to come back around the same time, which I think would be just after Christmas if everything goes right. That's just when they're going to be reevaluated. So yeah, a great game from the Clippers, a great game from James Harden, and a reminder of just the way this team needs to play. Because offensively, they haven't been good enough. They came into this team worse than the Utah Jazz on the offensive end. Here's something for you. James Harden host talking about Kawhi Leonard practice with the Clippers. It's Kawhi Leonard. We're going to be more excited to have him when we full practice. He's inching his way back towards the court. Whenever he's ready, we're ready for him. So obviously didn't hint at when ready is or when he could be back, but he's inching his way back towards the court. Whenever he's ready, we're ready for him. It would be great if he could join them on the road trip and play one of the games against Dallas or against Memphis. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's not a question right now, at least what we heard pregame from Coach Lou, that he does join them on this road trip. That's a good sign to me. He wasn't already ruled out for joining them on the road trip. We'll see. They're going to reassess over the next couple of days. I'm excited about that. I think there's reason to be. Now, as I always say, with Kawhi, half the battle is getting him back out there. The other half is keeping him out there on the court. And hopefully his knee responds well to NBA action, because there's no way to replicate that in practice. There just isn't. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I'm Adam Osland. After the Clippers win by 37 over the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome, and you're listening to Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports. This is the last break. Copy. Mike Noto and Mike Dooley are like boxing me in. Like the walls are closing in on me. Mike and Mike.
We call this a mic stand.
I call that a mic drop. It's Clamp City, Cap. I mean, that's kind of the official nickname. Lockdown City is not bad. Here's the thing about Chris Dunn. Earlier today, at pregame, Coach Lou said he's been dealing with something all season long. That's something we didn't know. Apparently, Chris Dunn has been playing through something, and he's never played. He's basically on pace, according to Justin Russo, to play the most minutes he's ever played in an NBA season. And then Coach Lou brought up how he's been playing through something the entire year, not just recently with the illness. So that accounts for why he hasn't played as many minutes, Daniel. But I understand why you'd want him to play more minutes. He is their best defender. He's incredible. I knew he was good. He still exceeded my expectations. No. This is the goal you were telling me about? Yeah, don't call it a comeback. It definitely wasn't. Clippers led by 24 after the first quarter. They go on to win by 37 over the Utah Jazz here at Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. Clippers handling business tonight against a Utah Jazz team that, believe it or not, heading into this game was pretty hot from the outside. James Harden, though, hottest player in the game, had 41 points on just 17 shot attempts in 30 minutes and 43 seconds of play. According to StatHead, only Gilbert Arenas and Richie Green recorded this type of game, 41 plus points on 17 or fewer shots faster than him. Only 2 players in NBA history recorded 41 or more points faster than James Harden just did tonight. Some history was made. It's his 103rd career 40-point game, 4th most in NBA history. That information coming from Tomer Azarli of Clutch Points. Seems good. What a game. What a game from James Harden. What a game from the Clippers. Again, the starters in this one alone, I need to calculate this percentage. The starters with Amir Coffey in this time instead of Nico Batum, I told you it would be matchup dependent. The starters went 40 of 59 from the field. That's 68% shooting. The starters went 17 of 25 from 3. That's 68% from 3. The starters alone scored 117 points. The bench had 27. Crazy, crazy numbers. The 44 points scored in the first quarter, most scored by the Clippers in any quarter this season. They started hot. They stayed hot. There was no turning off the faucet with this Clippers ball club tonight as they ended up even with 29 points in the fourth quarter. And I thought, guys like KPJ, who really struggled, got a bucket to finally fall in the fourth. The only player who didn't score that was available tonight out of their 11 was Kai Jones. I was really hoping we were going to get a Sky Jones highlight in the fourth quarter. I wish they would have looked for him a little bit more. But it was Kevin Porter Jr. getting off the snide in the fourth quarter. After a Nico Batum 3, a Bone steal and a layup, a Jordan Miller steal and dunk, a Bamba 3. He had a great defensive play, had a block. KPJ got that first bucket, a jumper on the 6:30 mark. Bones Highland with a three-pointer. That behind-the-back pass to Amir Coffey in transition for the layup. Amir had a no-dip 3. Like he's Nico Batum. Like he's Jordan Miller. Jordan Miller has struggled the last couple of games. Miller tonight, 1 of 6, 2 points, some growing pains going on, I think. In a game they won by 37, it doesn't really matter, but I was watching him closely because he didn't perform well in Denver. And I saw once again where he went down the middle of the floor, as he typically does to knife through the defense for that little floater or push shot or runner. And teams are starting to anticipate it a little bit better now. They're waiting for it. That's something I picked up on. That's something they're picking up on, the scouting department for teams. Your flaws are going to be exposed. They're going to find something. The more tape, the more film they get on you. And it's starting to happen for Jordan Miller. I see this from Daniel in the chat at Clippers Talk. He said both Russ and KPJ are high risk, high reward. They can win and lose you games. I agree with that. But Daniel does say at least KPJ has a mid-range. Zachary said, I was yelling in my seat that Nico taught Coffey that no-dip 3. You picked up on it. Nick Ramos said, would recommend listening to Norm on the Ryan Russillo pod. It's hard not to root for my boy. I think the reason Norman Powell has been more of a presence lately in the media is, first of all, it's because he's playing so well. But second of all, he needs more brand recognition. People don't know how good Norman Powell is. They don't understand how efficient he has been so far this season. almost putting up 50-50-90 splits. To make his case for most improved player or to make an all-star team, he's got to get out there a little bit more. I haven't checked out that interview. I did watch the one on Podcast P with him. Or was it Podcast P? No, what am I talking about? The other interview he did, remind me, guys, it wasn't the Knuckleheads. This is when you know so many players and former players have podcasts now. It is hard to keep track. But he has done multiple interviews as of late, and I'm happy for it. He needs to. He was on with Draymond Green. That's who it was. Draymond Green has a podcast too, yes. And the addition by subtraction comment that Norman Powell made, that has been a little bit stretched. A little bit. Because all he meant was, it's a bigger opportunity for me. It wasn't shade towards Paul George. And I knew that the entire time, but he made it very clear in that interview on with Draymond Green that wasn't his intent at all. It's just a guy who's been waiting for a big opportunity like this and is taking advantage of it. He's been this good. It didn't just happen this past year where all of a sudden he did some different training and on-court work and turned into a different player. He's 31. And he had 29 points tonight on 16 shots. The efficiency's back. So a lot of key guys on this Clippers team looking like themselves once again. And they have to regain that form to play well on the road in Dallas for 2 Thursday and Saturday. Little Texas two-step against the Dallas Mavericks. Outside of Los Angeles, of course, we'll be leaving you until then, but we'll have more Clippers talk on the YouTube side before that ball game. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. Happy birthday, Carlo. Tell him that in his TikToks, his Instagram, on X. Big brother Jake Warner, thinking about you. Mike Dooley filling in tonight admirably. He's got the Criterion collection of Quentin Tarantino's catalog at home, no doubt. Thanks to Katie Newton. Thanks to Dan West, our producers back in the bank. The callers, the chatters. Until next time, I'm Adam Oslin. I'll talk to you then. Go Clippers.